There is a castle on a cloud. I like to go there in my sleep.
Les Miserables, which has broken box office records, has also managed to touch the heartstrings of the audience. There's even a video on YouTube of a family in Long Island which returned home teary-eyed after watching the movie. This was experienced by most of the people who came out from the cinema.
Yes, I cried.
It made me cry.
Nearly, but no, it's just, I don't know, I felt happier rather than sad.
It's not just moviegoers, even film professors feel the same way. Robert Gordon from Goldsmith University of London.
Near the end, there was a moment when, although I'm trying to be a big brave man, I did want to start crying. I stopped myself, but I did want to start crying because I found it unbearably moving.
And he has found me in the rain.
But why is this happening, and what is the reason that people have responded so strongly? Clinical psychologist Abigail Songs explains what causes people to feel this way and why they still go to watch something that makes them uncomfortable and sad.
Trees are full of starlight, and all I see is him and me forever.
Some people will avoid watching films because it will make them feel uncomfortable, but yeah, for the most of us, we know there is a separation between what's actually going on and between ourselves. So we know it's not us. And in some level, you know, looking at the tragedies that can happen, in some way soothing because it's not happening to us, it's happening to somebody else. So that can be reassuring. And sometimes it's cathartic just to go through all the different emotions that one can experience, even if they're negative.
Since most of the memorable musicals are the ones that are played on a happy note, such as Mamma Mia.
Mamma mia, here I go again. My, how can I resist you?
Why is Les Miserables being appreciated in this way, even though it is so depressing? Is it because all the songs are sung live by the actors, or is it the performances that the director has brought out of them? We asked Professor Gordon, and this is what he had to say.
I think that what Tom Hooper has done with this film is to allow the actors, by singing it live, not to make a soundtrack and then mime to it, but to act every nuance of the emotions in each scene. And I think that this is why it's so powerful. I think, for example, right at the beginning, when you see Hugh Jackman as Jean Valjean, as a slave, a galley slave, you actually feel the struggle that he has. You see it in his face, you see the veins in his head, but you also hear in this contorted voice how he's tortured. And I think this on film, this is very powerful.
At the end of the day, you get nothing for nothing. Sitting flat on your bum doesn't buy any bread.
There are children back at home,
And the children have got to be fed.
and you're lucky to be in a job.
And in a bed.
What you want when you go watch a show or a musical at the cinema is to be taken away.
Says Holly Casera, a musical director and a performer herself.
Whether it's a happy place or a sad place, you want to be taken away and completely forget everything. But, you know, because the technique of some of them vocally wasn't up to scratch, it just made me not sit back and relax. Except when Anne Hathaway was on the screen singing I Dreamed a Dream, I was just completely in awe.
I dreamed a dream in time gone by, when hope was high, life worth living. I dreamed that love would never die. I dreamed that God would be forgiving. But the tigers come at night. With their voices.
One of the best performances of that song I've ever seen. Really perfect.
In spite of all the achievements and accolades, some critics have condemned the movie. Trey Hawk, an American film review columnist, writes,
"This film is a flawed and unsatisfying translation of Les Miserables, because Hooper actively undermines what is powerful about the stage version and doesn't use his camera's frame effectively to add anything of value."
This has led to a fierce debate between film experts.
It's a kind of breathless film. It requires your attention.
Christa DeLu, film expert at the University of Westminster.
Everything, every emotion, every feeling is expressed in this spectacular song. The camera work is quite rapid and unsettled, and very different to the way that you experience the film in the theatre, where your focus is really on the stage, and you don't have to. There isn't the cutting between particular scenes. Everything is very much placed in front of you, and with film you have to, because scenes develop and there is a cut and then you move on to the next scene. There is montage. It actually makes the film quite exhausting to watch.
But Professor Gordon disagrees.
I am baffled by why the many critics in America, particularly in the USA, have hated the film. I think they are very embarrassed by their own emotions, and they don't. And I think it's a masculine thing. I think a lot of heterosexual male critics actually do not want to allow themselves to feel the extremes of emotion.
This criticism hasn't stopped people from going to the cinemas and being moved by the film. Though the first emotion is sad, but it soon leads to a feeling of happiness. All in all, people are in unison when they say that Les Miserables doesn't make them miserable.
No, it didn't.
It didn't make me miserable, no.
No, it made me feel lucky.